I've worked night shifts most of my life. Warehouses, malls, a bus depot once. But nothing ever bothered me the way empty gyms do. There's something about the stillness, the dead silence, the way every machine sits like a sleeping giant waiting to wake up. This place was worse. Our gym had been shut down for a full renovation, flooring ripped out, mirrors removed, the ceiling partially open with wires hanging like veins. Half the treadmills were wrapped in cloudy plastic sheets that rustled whenever the AC kicked in. That night, I clocked in at 11 p.m., did my rounds, checked all the entrances. Everything was exactly as it should be, until 2:15 a.m. when I heard the slam. It was sharp, metallic, echoing from the old locker room at the far end of the building. I froze mid-walk. Renovation crews often left tools stacked inside, so I told myself something had fallen. A ladder, maybe, or someone hadn't locked the storage cabinet properly. Still, something about the sound bothered me. It wasn't a clatter, it was a slam, like a door being hit from the inside. I grabbed my flashlight, cleared my throat to steady myself, and headed toward the locker room. The hall was pitch dark except for my beam of light, and every step seemed to amplify the renovation silence. The plastic sheets rustling overhead, the faint hum of an unfinished light fixture. When I reached the locker room, the door was slightly open. I nudged it wider with the flashlight and stepped inside. The moment the beam hit the first row of lockers, my stomach dropped. On the metal surface, smeared across 3 locker doors, were bloody fingerprints. 4 long streaks, like someone had dragged their hand downward. For a second, I just stood there, my breath going cold. Someone must have broken in, I muttered to myself, even though the idea didn't make any sense. There were no signs of a break-in at the entrance, and why would a vandal bleed all over the inside of the building instead of stealing equipment? I lifted my radio. "Maintenance, come in. Got something weird in the locker room." Static. I pressed the button again. "Maintenance? You there?" Nothing but a harsh, buzzing hiss. That's when I heard it. A wet, bubbling cough. It echoed from the demolished shower area, the part of the gym the contractors had gutted earlier that week. The walls there were stripped to the studs, tiles cracked and piled like broken bones across the floor. The coughing came again, softer this time, painful. Against every instinct, I followed it. The smell hit me first, metallic, warm, unmistakably blood. My flashlight quivered in my hand as I stepped over chunks of tile, drywall dust swirling around my boots. Then my foot hit something soft. I looked down. A severed hand lay between 2 broken tiles, fingers curled slightly inward as if it had been reaching for something. Still fresh, skin still a normal color, not stiff. I gagged and stumbled back, my stomach lurching up into my throat. Before I could even breathe, a voice came from behind the half-demolished shower wall. "You scared me." I jerked the flashlight up so fast I nearly dropped it. A man stepped into view. He was barefoot, shirtless, and coated in drywall dust like he'd been crawling through the walls. His face was smeared red, streaks of it around his mouth, on his forehead, on his neck, as if he'd wiped it with bloody hands. But the worst part was his smile. He tilted his head, cracking his neck loudly. "Do you know, they locked me in here when construction ended tonight?" My flashlight trembled as I raised it higher. In his right hand, he held a rusty tile cutter saw, the kind with jagged teeth designed to chew through ceramic. Its grooves were clogged with something, hair and flesh. "Oh, God," I breathed. "You see it?" he asked, lifting the tool like a trophy. "It works so well, better than the new ones. The teeth just..." He dragged a finger along the edge. "They just grab you." He lunged. I didn't think. I didn't breathe. I just turned and ran. The room exploded into chaos, tiles crunching under my boots, the plastic sheets slapping as I shoved past them. Behind me, I heard him laughing, an unhinged animal rasp, followed by the wild scraping sound of metal against tile as he sprinted with the saw in his hand. He was fast, much faster than I expected. "Come back!" he screamed. "Come here! Come here! Come here!" I sprinted toward the emergency exit. My lungs burned, my legs wobbled, but adrenaline pushed me forward. I slammed my shoulder into the door, stumbled out into the cold night air, and shoved it violently shut from the outside. He slammed into the door. The metal vibrated. I backed away, shaking so hard I nearly fell. Blue lights flashed in the distance. Another guard must have called the cops after hearing the commotion. I ran toward them, waving my arms, voice cracking as I tried to explain. By the time the police entered the building, the man was gone. They found him an hour later, curled inside an air duct like a deranged animal, clutching the tile cutter saw, humming to himself. And next to him, hidden in a pile of insulation, were two more bodies. Two people had been missing for over a week. He had been living in the gym, feeding, waiting, watching. I quit the next morning, didn't even clean out my locker, didn't ask for my last paycheck. I just walked out and never looked back. People think night shifts are peaceful, but when you're alone in a half-finished building with shadows, vents, and broken spaces, you're never really alone. Some things crawl in the dark, some things stay behind after the workers leave, and some things are waiting for someone like me to hear a noise and walk right into them.